Alright, guys, so this is going to be, I'm just kind of doing a reflection of how my week 2 in the BFR, I can't even remember what we changed BFR to mean. It used to be Battle for Rights. Now I think it's Big Fucking Rotom. That's what I'm going to say, at least for this set. It's Big Fucking Rotom. Um, week 2 versus Electric and Nova's Island. Um, just a little on this is the team I ended up bringing, but just a little bit on the other team. Electric's travel team. They went for a full evolutions. They got really good ones here for their travel team with Sylveon. Vaporeon especially is good against me with Water Absorb. It was actually quite a threat in some cases and could easily wall out something like my Floatzel. And then Espeon as well, being fast, having access to setting up Trick Room, having access to Magic Bounce, which would come in handy against my Amoonguss. And then on the Island team, which is Nova's Island team, it's got the fun Grafai Slacking gimmick, Doodle gimmick, and then also has, I didn't even realize it had Grimmsnarl. I forgot it had Grimmsnarl. Grimmsnarl did not make an appearance in the actual match, so I blanked on that one. But it had Salamence, Grimmsnarl, Magneton, Rotom-Mow, Bronzong, and Glimmet to round out things. Overall, the speed contest was very much in their favor, but I felt fairly capable if I was able to get up a Tailwind with my Scizor, partnered with the Quash. As you see how I highlighted my Pokemon, at first I wasn't planning to bring Scizor, and I was thinking of bringing Snow. But I decided in an effort to actually be able to win the speed war, I needed to bring Scizor in the back, either in the front or the back with Tailwind to be able to set up and really actually be able to try to overtake some of these faster speeds they have on me, on my faster Pokemon. 210 base speeds, 200 base speeds. So what I ended up bringing was, I wanted to bring Floatzel, Sableye, in Rain. After doing calcs, it kills literally everything. Like in Rain with Water Terra, it does 150% to even like Rotom-Mow. It does 120 to Slacking. It kills everything on their team, other than of course Vaporeon, which with Water Absorb, with the set I brought, I could not. It fully walls me out as I was focusing on killing everything else and nothing else. And I don't actually think I ever clicked Aqua Jet in the game in the actual matches, but I brought it just in case for just a little priority, because I knew that they had some on their team with Sucker Punch on Grimmsnarl, Quick Attack on Sylveon, thus and so forth, and Sucker Punch on Slacking as well. What else? Sableye. It's a relatively standard Sableye set. Quash, Foul Play. You don't see Fake Out all the time, but I liked Fake Out in this case as it could help me with in a Slacking Grafai setup, I could Fake Out the Grafai and protect on my other Pokemon to get practically a free turn if they don't target Sableye. And just get some free chip damage because I assume Grafai would be coming with a Sash most games. As well as just giving me some maneuverability with Sableye if I ever bring it out and bring it back in. I chose to go with a Damp Rock because with how I was seeing how I was going to be playing this game, I didn't think that they would be bringing anything to reset weather. And although I don't think I ever actually just led Sableye Floatzel, I always wanted to have rain, be able to click Rain on some turn and have it last for a while later. And Damp Rock did really well at that. Having Rain for 8 turns was actually amazing for my Amoonguss, as we'll see in the games. Quash foul play, just round everything else out. Amoongus, I chose Aya Papa Berry. I just wanted big heals in tight moments. Getting knocked down to like 20% off of a big hit from, say, slacking, and then healing up to 50 some, and then switching out and coming back in. All of a sudden, I'm back up at 80%, and your other Pokemons can't deal with me. Otherwise, very standard set on Amoongus. Rage Powder, Spore, Pollen Puff, Protect. Nothing special there. Overall, Steel Terra, I believe I did this to get around like Body Slam from slacking, but otherwise I just didn't think I was even going to be Terra typing this, so I didn't even really worry about it. Baxcalibur, this was kind of built as like, if I need damage, I will bring Baxcalibur and just try to set up a Tailwind with Scizor as here, and try to just lay damage on, get a Dragon Dance up with a Rage Powder from Amoongus, and then just throw Glaive Rush and Iron Head at them. And Clear Amulet because they had Salamence Intimidate possibility. My Rotom set, pretty simple. I went with Choice Specs because I wanted to be able to really chip down a slacking with its weaker special defenses, and with Choice Specs and Thunder, Rotom does like 90 some % to slacking with a chance of OKOing in rain. Plus with Terra Electric, it dishes out damage like nobody's business. I chose to go with Hex in case I got any good sleeps on the opponent. I could then get a very powerful Ghost type move. This was especially in the kit. I also needed a Ghost type move for. I wanted it for Espeon as well, so I could hit Espeon super effective with that. And then Hydro Pump, Volt Switch, just typical moves on Rotom Wash. I was very. You also realized that I was very lazy on the EVs. Just doing 252, 252s across the board, and for the most part, it's kind of it just makes sense to do so. Like Floatzel, what else am I gonna do? Scizor, I thought about actually investing in defenses some more, but I decided with a Water Terra type, anything that actually threatens my Scizor with like a Fire type move, since they don't have any Fire type stabs, with Water Terra, it won't actually be doing too much, and I will usually be able to just get a Tailwind up for free. So then let me hop over to the games. Get rid of that. Boom. So this is game 1. So I got into the game, and first thing I noticed is they don't bring. I didn't even realize they didn't bring Grimmsnarl because I didn't have that on my mind. But another thing I realized is that they didn't bring Salamence, and that was a big thing to me, because Salamence is their only Tailwind setter. So without that, I knew that if I get Tailwind up, I am in the clear. And I decided for game 1, I didn't want to bring Tailwind. I didn't want to show that as my hand. So going into this, I decided to lead with Sableye for fake out pressure because they don't have anything immune to fake out other than like a covert quote that could come up, and also Amoongus because I wanted to get up an early Spore. So let's get into it. They end up leading Glimmet, and I was not prepared to see a Glimmet in general. I didn't think about Glimmet coming. I even typed in chat here, Glimmet based. And to be honest, I write this Glimmet off. I disrespected it in multiple ways, but in the end, I don't think it was like. I'll just show. So I fake out into the Glimmet, activating toxic debris, letting out a free toxic spike, and I have my grounded poison type still on the field. So I'm like, oh gosh, I gotta get my Amoonguss out so I can get rid of these toxic spikes. Because if they let them get double toxic spike layers up, this does become a much scarier game real soon. Luckily, Rotom Wash is immune to the spikes, so I'm able to just get it in on top. And I use this time to just set up a Rain Dance, which, if it's hydration, it would be a little annoying for me that Vaporeon would then get its sleep turn taken off. But that would also give me information on if it is water absorb or not. So with this, I now have confirmed that it's water absorb, which is very good for me to know, so that I am wary of it when I have like Floatzel out on the board on the field. Sableye going down there, in my opinion, is honestly very good for me. I did not need Sableye in anymore. The only thing that it really could have done was the only real significant thing it could add is just like foul playing and quashing, but I have already secured the speed on the board as it on the field as it is right now, so I'm not really worried about that, and just having it goes down gives me a free switch to Amoonguss, so I can then just target down their Pokemon. So I just Rage Powder, eat a Power Gem easily. And I decide to actually kill off the Vaporeon first. And this is a mistake that I make throughout the game over and over again. I make throughout this game is targeting down the Pokemon that I have asleep. And also isn't too threatening. So right there, Vaporeon isn't too much of a threat to my Pokemon on board. I've seen that it has Muddy Water. It might have Ice Beam, but Ice Beam isn't going to do too much to my specially invested Amoonguss. And I can kill it in one turn. If I had just targeted the Glimmet there, it would have died. And then they would have brought in probably Sylveon again. I'll go back. I'm going to play that song again. So yeah, I target down the Vaporeon, but also because I do have Floatzel in the back, and I just wanted to get it off the board knowing that it has Water Absorb. So the next turn comes, I allow my Rotom to tank a Power Gem coming out from Glimmet, which actually Terra Grassed here. I Thunder it, doing a ton of damage through the weakness, but I do not get the kill. And then I set up a Spore on the Sylveon, putting it to sleep, and bringing in Floatzel. Here's where I make my biggest mistake in this entire game. Get me here. So, all I have to do here, we have a Pokemon asleep, 0 turns asleep, and low Glimmet. That's Terra Grass, so it ignores Rage Powder. And I say to myself, I'm in this moment, and I think to myself, oh, it goes around Rage Powder. I should probably just sub or protect and kill it, because I have both sub and protect on my Floatzel here. All I need to do is protect and Pollen Puff into this, and I pretty much have the game wrapped up. Sylveon takes a turn of sleep. I then kill the what I soon find out to be Magneton in the back. That also gets OKO'd by Floatzel, and then I OKO Sylveon easily, as long as it doesn't wake up on turn 2 and kill Floatzel with I probably do die. I believe I do die to any Hyper Voice. Floatzel's not tanky at all, but it does deal damage. So I do a terrible turn here, and I Rage Powder Wave Crash, murdering the Sylveon as intended, but it doesn't stop the Glimmet, and so I take plenty of recoil damage, and then Glimmet Power Gem just knocks me down, and there's no chance that Pollen Puff can get through this Magneton. And so I lose game 1, going down early to a based Glimmet, actually. So then on to game 2. I'll actually full screen this. Game 2, this is my redemption arc. I come into this, I'm like, oh gosh, I really have to pull it out in this game and show them what I'm made of. I'm also expecting, after seeing these 4 Pokemon, some of me thinks that maybe Glimmet will make another appearance since it has that Terra Grass to get around Rage Powder. But I'm also expecting the slacking Grafai, because people don't like ending their series without showing all their heat. I've done it myself plenty of times where I'm like, ooh, I haven't brought this Pokemon yet. I should probably bring it. So I'm expecting it a little bit. I still expect Vaporeon to come because it really is the main stop against like my Floatzel, and also is good if I get locked into Hydro Pump on my Rotom. I need to turn off music earlier. Turn 1, they lead with the Grafai slacking, as I'm kind of expecting, and I lead off changing out my Sableye for a Mungus Rotom. I just wanted Rotom out so that if it was like a Glimmet again, I could use it to target down Glimmet. It's good against Vaporeon because I can just Volt Switch into it, pop right out. Along with a Mungus that I don't think there's any reason to not lead a Mungus other than to have it in the back to take out toxic debris spikes after giving them to the opponent. So turn 1 here, I immediately switch out Rotom. It gets outsped by slacking. It's going to take a lot of damage from a body slam. So I want to avoid that at all costs. Their slacking actually Terra Fires, which I was not fully expecting, but I wasn't too scared when I saw it. Because I know Amoonguss is tanky, and I knew that I could tank at least just a base Fire Punch for like 50%. So I wasn't too afraid of it hitting me for a lot. As you can see, I live on 5%. Activating my Iapapa Berry, putting me right back up to 38, and getting a huge spore onto this slacking. I then come back in with Rotom the next turn and set up a Tailwind so I can actually have the speed. Let's slow it down here a bit. And I set up a Tailwind here so I can have the speed advantage going against slacking, as it's faster than all the mons that I've shown so far, with my fastest being Rotom. And with that 1 turn of sleep out of the way, here I'm thinking to myself, there's a good chance that this slacking goes for Protect, trying to break out of sleep and not take damage from Rotom. And knowing this, I double into it with Feint and Hydro Pump. I brought Feint this game because I knew I felt that Scizor was more in like a supporting role, in my opinion, where I wanted to do chip damage with Bullet Punch, but then I also just wanted to be setting up Tailwinds and also just breaking Protects and allowing me to pick up kills with like my Floatzel and my Rotom here, where they just deal a ton of damage, and if I break through a Protect, it's usually very good in my favor. So I do that here. I get a little lucky hitting the Hydro Pump, and they miss their Gunk Shot. That Gunk Shot I think would do 43 or something like that, roughly. We see it in a turn or so here. You can see Electric being like, man, I wish my mons were as accurate as yours. It's like, yep, but it happens. That's the name of the game. So, and here I just tear my Rotom. I want to get rid of the water, the electric weakness, the water. So now I'm resisting electric, I believe, from Magneton. And also, I just go for a Hydro Pump into Grafai as I am locked into Hydro Pump with my choice specs. And I go for a close combat with Scizor, which, in my opinion, honestly, I was expecting to do a little more than this, but it's also just good to know that it's a 2-hit KO. But I was like, this only did 58. That didn't do like 80. Huh? As I am max attack Scizor, but it's fine. Another play that I thought I could have gone for here is just go for a feint into Grafai as well. Just take the whole KO. That's another option that I could have gone for. Because I didn't know if it had Protect or anything yet. So if I just feinted, I would guarantee I get that down. But it did 60. Yeah. So like that gunk shot that they missed was pretty big. I would have been, if they hit both, I would be dead right now. And that Thunderbolt would have gone into my Scizor. And I got lucky enough that my Rotom lived on 1 HP after the poison with the gunk shot, allowing me to switch it out and actually maintain it. Is another turn where I think, oh, I could go for feint into this. I should just go for feint into this to get this last health. But I actually double into the Magneton here, hoping to pick up a quick KO. But it's not enough. But with just a Rage Powder, kind of seal the deal. Thunderbolt does not do nearly enough damage, 15. I get the pickup on the Magneton, and then I have Feint to just kill off the Grafai next turn. But with Sylveon coming in, I decide, oh, I shouldn't use Feint to pick up the kill on Grafai this turn. I should go for the kill on Sylveon, or the chip damage at least on Sylveon with Bullet Punch. Because I know Bullet Punch is going to do anywhere between 70 and 100 if they don't Terra, which they already terred on the slacking. So I'm like, okay, so Bullet Punch is going to do a ton of damage here. It does 78. It's good stuff. I switch into Rotom, just sacking it. Because I know I've taken a ton of damage. I've effectively gotten rid of the not very effective after my 2 close combats as I'm down. So this, what would have been a 40% hit from Sylveon does 80. But that's fine because I have priority moves. I have a faster priority Mon. So here I just Bullet Punch and I actually Wave Crash on this turn. I could have Aqua Jetted. I could have gone for Aqua Jet here, but I didn't want to reveal that I had it yet because I had only shown Wave Crash on Floatzel so far. So I went for Wave Crash again there just to try to keep that secret. And then the last game. Game number 3. This is where it comes down to all the marbles. So I had a Sableye game, and then I had just a Scizor game. And for this game, I decided to go back to Sableye. But because I saw I decided to go back to Sableye so I could minimize damage from slacking, actually. By setting up Rain Dance. And I decided not to bring Floatzel because I expect them to think that I will bring Floatzel, so they'll bring Vaporeon since they didn't bring it game 2. I decided not to bring Floatzel so that I can bring Scizor and Sableye in this game. They lead with Slacking again and Magneton. They actually protect turn 1 on Slacking. I was like, oh, okay, turn 1 protect, that makes sense. And I go for a Fake Out into Slacking because I know I can. I assume it's not Covert Cloak. They wouldn't protect in front of Fake Out if they knew it. So and they just do a quick volt switch over to Grafai as I set up Tailwind turn 1. So already I've set myself up pretty well for the game coming here. I have speed control, I have Sableye out, and I also have Scizor. And so with this turn, I'm expecting them to doodle Terrifier Fire Punch. And so I go for my Terra Water on my Scizor for defense. To lose the 4 times weakness and actually make it a resistance, and then also put up range so that the Fire Punch does even less damage, doing only 7% to my Scizor. I heal off my leftovers. I use double bullet punch to kill off the Grafai. I just want to get rid of it because I know that Gunk Shot can actually do a lot of damage, as well as like having taunt and such. Body Slam, not enough to kill off my Scizor, and I get a nice foul play here. Critical hit, which is huge. That just sucks for him, but it's still 2-hit KO anyways. Foul play is there. If I'm doing the math right in my head. Actually, no. It would have been like 47%, isn't it? It wouldn't have been a 2-hit KO. But I with a feint and a foul play, I'd pick up the 2-hit KO. So, like, it's not too crazy. It just allows me to instead target the Magneton, which actually tears into Terra Water. And with that Terra, I am then feeling pretty safe, especially as I see this Vaporeon come out. Because I have Rain up for 5 more turns. I have I have Thunder Choice Specs Rotom in the back, and they now have 2 water types and a 30% health slacking. So I just bring in my Rotom. I know that slacking outspeeds, and I haven't shown Quash up until this point. I didn't show Quash in the first game, so then I hit him with a Quash, Thunder, killing off slacking, and then knowing that I outspeed the other 2, the game's all but over at this point. Just Thunder, and I don't even have to show the Amoonguss in the back. All in all, I think I prepared pretty well for this one. The team flowed pretty well. I didn't even have to bring back Excalibur at all, but it was meant more so to go against Salamence and such. So without Salamence and them showing up, it just didn't feel like it was a Pokemon I needed to bring to any of the games. And I think this game really shows, one, Amoonguss very strong if you don't prep for it fully. Electric was talking about how they should have had a safety goggles user and maybe another like Terragrass because they weren't prepped to get around Rage Powder. And it also shows that I think Sableye's very strong. Foul Play is a great move for dealing damage, especially against something like a Slacking. Fake Out's just a very good move overall that it gets, and it's Fake Out immune itself, so it doesn't have to worry about taking a Fake Out. And you get moves like Quash. I could have had Will-O-Wisp on this, which the Slacking would have avoided with the Terrafire, but I decided I might as well just try to kill it rather than mitigate damage from a Slacking. It's better to just get rid of it. And so that's what I did. So yeah, that's week 2. My insights on kind of how the build process went and how I was thinking during the games, and also some of the mistakes that I made, especially in that first game. Like, I knew my mistake immediately after clicking the button. So yeah, have a good one, y'all.